Welcome back. The Department of Justice's landmark trial against Alphabet kicking off today, marking its first antitrust case against a big tech company in more than 2 decades. And our Eamon Jabbers is on the scene. Eamon?
Hey there, Kelly. Well, the Department of Justice has just called its first witness, and it's Google's chief economist, Hal Varian. And they've been grilling him this hour about the advice that he gave to the company on antitrust issues. And what's fascinating here is that we're hearing direct echoes of the legendary Microsoft antitrust case of the late 1990s. The Department of Justice has been grilling Varian about warnings he sent in emails as far back as 20 years ago to Google executives. In the messages, he warned executives against using incendiary rhetoric in public or in private, saying phrases like, quote, cutting off their air supply should not be used to refer to competitors. Now, that's because Microsoft's Steve Ballmer allegedly used the same phrase about his competitors, and it came back to haunt Microsoft in their battle back in the 1990s. So you have Google executives 20 years ago analyzing how the DOJ prosecuted the Microsoft case back then, and now the DOJ of today in this courtroom here surfacing that advice in its case about Google. So what goes around comes around. Now, the DOJ, state attorneys general in this case, and Google have all concluded their opening statements this morning. So we're getting really into the heart of the case already here on day one. And one quick piece of color, Kelly, I can tell you that on the first floor of the courthouse here, the same time they're arguing about the Microsoft case in the courtroom, there's literally a museum exhibit about the history of the Microsoft case and its significance in antitrust history. So history in the display case here and history in the courtroom as well, Kelly.
You say the opening statements went to sort of the heart of the case. What, in simple terms, what is the heart of the case? Why is the Justice Department prosecuting Google or Alphabet?
Well, it's two, as you can imagine, two very distinct arguments, right? The Department of Justice is saying that Google got to 90% dominance in online search by breaking the law. And they're focusing really on these payments to companies like Apple that Google has made over the years, billions of dollars of payments in order to become the default search engine on all these devices across the whole universe of devices that people use. The Department of Justice is saying that flood of cash really kept other competitors out of the search business and was anti-competitive. What Google is saying here is exactly the opposite, as you can imagine. They're saying, hey, the reason we're so dominant is our product is so good. We built a great product. People seek us out. They don't want to use Bing and other competitors nearly as much as they want to use us, and we didn't do anything inappropriately. All of the parsing of these 20-year-old emails that we've seen so far today, all of this is going to tease out the situation of who's right here. Ultimately, they don't have to prove it before a jury here, Tyler. This is a bench trial, so it's all going to be in front of Judge Amit Mehta, and it's going to be up to him to make the ultimate decision here. So no jury to impress. That means that the arguments can get a little bit more technical because Mehta has been steeped in this stuff for a long time. You don't have to assume a level of knowledge in a jury pool. You have to assume a level of knowledge here with a juror, with a judge in this case, who's been overseeing this case for a long time and very, very steeped in the details, Tyler.
How long is this case expected to go on?
Well, we think until late October, maybe spill over into early November by the time we're done with everybody presenting their cases. Then Mehta will take some time to figure out where he's going to stand on this, and we don't expect an ultimate ruling until sometime in 2024. And Tyler, that's just the first part of it. That's just the part to determine liability. If the judge here says that Google does have liability under antitrust law, well, then they go into another phase of the trial in which they have to prove exactly what the remedy should be for that. So what is the fix here that Google would be ordered by the court to do in order to solve whatever problem they find here? That's only if the Department of Justice prevails in this first part of the case that they go to that remedy piece. So we could be talking well into 2024 before we have any resolution where you see what kind of impact this has ultimately on Google's business.
Would remedies include fines?
It's not clear. Both sides have been very careful not to talk to us at all about what the remedies might be. They don't want to go there. They're very focused right now on just whether or not this issue of liability exists or not, Tyler.
All right. Thank you, Eamon. Eamon Jabbers reporting from the courthouse.